Tonight, Des Moines school board leaders are clarifying what was on Dr. Ian Roberts' resume following questions after his ICE detainment. DMPS released that information in the midst of multiple protests today in support of Dr. Roberts. We begin our team coverage with Abigail Curtin, who joins us now from downtown and was at the protests earlier today. Abigail?
Well, just a few hours ago, there were about a dozen protesters standing here, and prior to that, there were about 36 middle schoolers who made their voices known at the state capitol. And while Roberts' arrest was the thing that spurred their protests on, it wasn't necessarily the main concern. Instead, their main concern was ICE's actions in Iowa in general. They cited Roberts' arrest and the arrest of another Iowa City man. One protester I spoke with says it's created fear among the community.
The fact that we see them in the streets, masked and just chasing after people, the fact that they're part of systems in all sorts of different organized cities and states across this country is a terrifying thing.
She went on to say that she worries for student safety now that Roberts is not there to protect students. She worries that ICE might have a direct impact on them. And KCCI's Kayla James gathered more information from the district. Kayla, what do you have for us?
Tonight, Des Moines school board leaders are clarifying what was on Dr. Ian Roberts' resume following questions after his ICE detainment. They say Dr. Roberts provided an initial resume to JG Consulting, which helped the DMPS with the search. It said he earned a doctorate from Morgan State University, but during the background check process, the degree was flagged as not completed. The resume was then revised, noting that Roberts had not finished a dissertation, which is required to earn a doctorate. Board members had that revised resume throughout the interview process. School board president Jackie Norris released a statement saying in part, quote, the Des Moines school board is also a victim of deception by Dr. Roberts, one on a growing list that includes our students and teachers, our parents and community, our elected officials, and Iowa's Board of Educational Examiners, and others, end quote. The district also tells KCCI Trident University was listed on his resume for a doctorate of education degree. KCCI did reach out to the university to see if Roberts had completed his doctorate, but have not yet heard back.
Kayla and Abigail, thank you. KCCI spoke with a former Central Iowa superintendent who shared some insight on the superintendent hiring process Iowa schools go through. Dr. Lisa Ramey is Executive Director of School Administrators of Iowa. We spoke with her about what documents are required from people applying to be a superintendent. Prior to her current position, Ramey was the West Des Moines Community Schools superintendent, so she has experience going through the hiring process. She says resumes, transcripts, and background checks are part of the documents that people have to go ahead and supply at the beginning. And once a person has been narrowed down, an I-9 form comes into the equation. The E-Verify system lets employers confirm the eligibility of their employees to work in the U.S. She says it's not required in Iowa, but has been debated in the Iowa legislature in the past.
There's pros to that because it does then really connect with that work authorization, but then there's also false positives and or negatives that can come with the use of that platform as well.
Ramey says she would not be surprised if discussion about the system came up in the next legislative session. Uncertainty about Roberts' citizenship has brought questions about his voter registration status. Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate says his office has received those questions. Pate posted on Facebook saying a preliminary review does not show him as voting or being registered to vote in Iowa. From protests in the community to questions about Dr. Roberts' background, we have continuing coverage on air and online at kcci.com.